Hello there, people of the internet. We're having a look at a bunch of random miscellaneous ammo that I've acquired over the years. Today we're having a look at actual, genuine World War II German 8mm Mauser. Now this is SMK ammo, and that basically just means it has a steel core as opposed to like something like a lead core. There's plenty of other forms of ammo out there that are extraordinarily similar to this right here. So this isn't exactly anything special, it just means that it has a steel core as opposed to a lead core. Now what we're looking at here is if we look at our head stamp, we're going to see P181 and then a bunch of other numbers. I don't necessarily know what those numbers mean. I see XW7, I see a 16, and I see, looks like 07. I'm not positive on what all of that means. So pulling this projectile in this particular bullet was by far, by a huge margin, one of the most difficult rounds I have ever pulled apart. This was such a hard task. I spent maybe half an hour ripping this thing out. I felt like a medieval dentist. So our cases, they are steel case from what I can tell. They do have a lacquer on them. We do have like a red primer sealant right here on the primer itself. I don't see any sealants around the projectile, but boy oh boy, that projectile was darn near good sealed enough. I tried the inertia, that's the word. I tried the inertia bullet puller, did not work. I tried all sorts of stuff, did not work. Eventually I just put it inside of my bench vise, and I took a pair of pliers and I just had to absolutely rip this thing out. And as you can see, man, it fought me good. So this particular round is probably not going to be all that accurate, but just because of the rarity of this ammunition and my lack of it, we're probably still going to fire that one. Maybe we'll do this one at something that we don't need a whole lot of accuracy for. So now let's go ahead and have a look at how much powder is inside this thing. It looks like a flake powder. That's good. That's a good sign. We're looking at 42 grains of that. So 42 grains of whatever flake powder was inside of this case. Yeah, this case here got dented up pretty good. Maybe this projectile will load into some modern brass or something. So 42 grains of whatever flake powder this is. I have no idea what it is. It's got like a little bit of a brown tint to it because the steel cases here, oftentimes they will have a little bit of rust inside of them, and that rust will interact with the powder. And from what I've been able to tell, it doesn't really cause much issue. I fired not necessarily a fair amount of this stuff, but I fired quite a few rounds of it, and I haven't had any issues with any duds or hang fires that you would normally get with degrading ammo. Let's see what our projectile weight is, although it is a little torn up. 178. So I'm betting like 177, 178 grain projectiles is about what you would come to expect with these things. Very fascinating. That's a pretty good sized projectile right there for 178, but on the internals it is steel versus lead. Like normally this projectile, like this looks like a 198 grain bullet, and it's just so lightweight. And it feels strange. It definitely feels strange and looks strange. So that's what we're looking at on the inside. We're going to go ahead and take this to a range and see what we can do. See how it performs, see if it functions, etc., etc. Alright, continuing our ammo evaluation. Now we're having a look at some actual World War II production German 8mm Mauser. This is the SMK stuff. I remember this stuff being rather reliable and firing pretty gosh darn well. I tested it a bunch of years ago, but I never really accuracy tested it or anything like that. So we're going to go ahead, sit down, bench rest, check the stuff out. I think that this is like a 175 grain bullet, if memory serves me correctly. And it should be traveling, we're going to call it about 2,700 feet per second. Would like to chronograph it. Chronograph is not functional. That's just the way the world works. So we're going to sit down, shoot this at about 50 yards, see what kind of group size we get, see how reliable this ammo is, etc., etc. Like I said, this is the SMK ammo, so it's not exactly going to be match grade or anything like that, but I am excited to see what kind of accuracy that we are going to get. I've tested this stuff on the channel plenty of times. If you want to go see more testing, by all means, go ahead and look that up. We're firing from a Yugoslavian 24-47 with a heavy firing pin spring inside of it and a 24-inch barrel. This is my most accurate 8mm Mauser rifle, so we shouldn't have any issues. We're going to sit down at my not at all sketchy shooting table here, fire at our 50-yard mark, and we're going to see what kind of group size we get. That should be indicative enough of what you would come to expect with the ammo shooting at this distance. All right, let's go ahead and load up this German ammo in this Yugoslavian Mauser. It'll be fine, I'm sure. So this is a steel case ammo. It is lacquered, like a lacquered steel case. It's green, kind of like what you would find with Barnaul or something like that. Let's see how it groups. Oh goodness. Well, it fired just fine, and boy did it have some recoil behind it. Like, that's holy crap levels of recoil right there. All right. I don't know what the heck we hit over there, but it exploded and it was awesome. Ah, we had a round not fire. Let's try that once more, shall we? Okay, well, we have one that's a dud and not firing. I do have another round. I guess we can see if that one will go off. Let me just toss this one over there, just so it doesn't blow up in my face. Well, I guess I lied. That other round doesn't even want to seat in the rifle. So I guess we just have a 2-round group. Let me go grab our target down there. We'll have a look at it. All right, I won't lie. This is a pretty gosh darn good group, assuming that, you know, we're only looking at these 2 rounds. So this is a group size of 2 bullets. But that's probably a half-inch spread right there. So you're looking at MOA, potentially even sub-MOA ammo, if you get the ammo in the right rifle, assuming that the stuff actually goes off, because one of the rounds didn't even want to seat in the rifle, and the other just was a complete dud. So that's what we're dealing with here, but the ammo does seem quite accurate from the 2 rounds that we fired there, because those were basically right on top of one another. So I'm pleased with this. I'm very pleased with this, actually. I don't think I have anything else to add here. You guys saw everything. Thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below is a link to all sorts of stuff. Let's have a look at the brass real quick. No signs of excessive pressure or anything like that. The primers look fine. The cases look fine. Everything on these look okay. I had no backblast or anything like that come back into my face. So this gets my stamp of approval. I like it. I like it a lot. Looks fine. It'll be fine. I'll see you on the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.